Hey everybody, Joy here. Finally. Welcome to any new subscribers that have come because I want to see how to make this really fun, easy, according to the internet, quilt. And welcome to all my regular subscribers. I promised I would show you how to make this quilt because my friend Bernhardt and I are getting ready to make it with fall colors. And a lot of you said, we want to make it too. So I was going to put this video up last week and then I was going to put it up on the weekend. And it turned out I had to do a lot of studying, believe it or not. And I made some little samples for you. So the first thing I want to do is show you the finished quilt. Ta-da! I made it with a layer cake that was all these turquoises and greens. So the colors were already chosen for me. I just sewed them together. But you can choose any colors that you want. This actually can be just a two-color quilt if you want it to be, and I'll show you that in a minute. It can be a two-color, it can be a many-color, it can be small, medium, large, and I'll show you how to make it small, medium, or large. But I wanted you to see it first. This has two different names. It's called Carpenter's Star. It's also called Carpenter's Wheel. I don't know why it has two names. I guess some people name it for the star in the middle and some people name it for the circle going around the star. So I'm going to show you lots of different versions and I'm going to show you how to decide what size you want to make, and then you're going to have time to pick the fabrics that you want. We'll start maybe in about 2 weeks because I know Yvonne is super busy. And however, she's about to get a new long arm. I may never hear from her again in 2 weeks. We'll see. So give me a second and I've got some pictures I want to show you, okay? I want to show you some pictures now. You can go on the internet. You can Google, or whatever search engine you have, Carpenter's Wheel quilt or Carpenter's Star quilt, and hundreds of them will come up. You can look at them for days and days. I have made just a few pictures for you to try to give you an idea of the different ways it can be made and how different it can look. So let me start showing you the pictures. Here is one where they have the star in the middle, they have the one wheel around it, then they have another wheel around it, and then they have a real fancy border. So let me show that to you. How about that? Would you like to make that kind? Every single one of these quilts is made with half square triangles. There's also quarter square triangles. We're not working with those. We're working with half square triangles. You can make 100 different styles of quilts with half square triangles. There's another one in here somewhere. You've seen this one before. I don't think I gave this one a name. I need to give it a name. Okay? This is made the exact same way. Half square triangles. You can arrange them a zillion different ways. See? I hope you can see it all. I can't really tell what you can see. This is a rectangle. Maybe if I hold it up this way, maybe you can see it. Okay? So, how fun are half square triangles? And they're easy. They are so easy. Every place I looked this quilt up, it said beginner quilt, easy quilt. I'm like, well, it wasn't that easy. Okay, let me show you some more pictures. Now this one, it's not the wheel and it's not the star in the middle, but it's made with half square triangles. This one's called the Lone Star, and I found it on Etsy, and you can buy the pattern on Etsy for $9. So just go to Etsy and look up Lone Star, but isn't this fun with half square triangles? Yeah, I really like that one. All right, here's another one. Now, there's lots of pictures on YouTube of Carpenter's wheel and Carpenter's star, but the original way it was made, or the olden days way it was made, or whenever, they made it with diamond blocks. Diamond blocks are hard. And there is one on there that was made, and I think I threw it away because I didn't want you to get confused, and it was by Shar Jorgensen. And she made it with diamonds. And I said, no, we don't want that, so I threw it away. So be sure you're using the half square triangle method if you want to do it like I did it. Okay? So here is a real pretty one. This is an example of one that's done with 2 colors and 1 background. 2 colors and 1 background, okay? You see how you can see the squares? And inside every single square is either a square of white or a half square triangle. Awesome! Now I wrote down, let me see if I hold this real still and close enough, maybe you can write down the info on it. Can you see it? I'll tell you what it says. I like this one a lot because it shows the squares. So this is from quiltfrog.com. It's called the 4-hour quilt top. It's just like this one. Mine took way more than 4 hours, I can tell you that. 60 inches by 72 inches. How big is mine? I don't know. 6.5 inch blocks is what she used. I used 9.5 inch blocks. So she used 6.5 inch blocks, and that's unfinished. After you sew them, they're 6 inch blocks. And for this quilt, this size, she used 1 yard of dark, 1 yard of medium, 1 yard for the border, the blue border, and 2.5 yards for the background, the white. Go there, it's free. You don't even need me. Okay, here's another one. This one looks just like that one, but I found it someplace else. There is a place on the internet, and it's called govf.org/forms. Now, you're going to see that I've got a period after org on here. That's not really a period. That was just my pen dropping or something. So it's govf.org/forms-documents/. And if you go there, you will find a whole bunch of free patterns to make quilts of valor. So this pattern is here. It's the same quilt I just showed you. Same fabric requirements. Okay? So you can find this on the internet. And a whole bunch of others for free. You can see all the squares and how easy it's going to be for you to put this together. Awesome! All right, let's see what else they've got here. This is No Diamonds. It's called No Diamonds. It does not show the squares, but I drew some squares for you. This one has more than 2 fabrics in it. And it's kind of a fall colored one. And it's got 3 borders on it. So I just made a copy of this. This one you can actually buy already made up. They sell these quilts so cheap. I tell you, I don't know. They must have robots that make these things in 10 minutes. Because I sure wouldn't be selling mine. Not for what they're selling them for. But look here how I took the picture and then I just drew the squares. See? So you can see it in a different color combination. And these layer cakes are just perfect for it. These 10-inch layer cakes. Well, what if we make a different size? I'm going to explain that to you if you stay with me. Okay, here is another one. This is another free one. Another free pattern. There's free patterns all over the place. You don't need me to give you a pattern. Most of you surely know Jordan Fabrics on YouTube. Donna Jordan. I think she makes at least 1 quilt a week. She's got hundreds of quilts that she's made, and she shows you how to make them all. Some of them are her patterns. If they're her patterns, they're free. And so this evidently was her pattern. It's exactly like that one, except it has an extra wheel on it. So you can go to Jordan Fabrics on YouTube and look up Carpenter's wheel in her videos. Or just search Carpenter's wheel Jordan fabrics and it will come up. Free pattern. I actually printed the pattern, which you can too. You can too. The only thing is, Donna Jordan doesn't do it with the layer cakes. But if you want to do it with Donna, again it says easy. They all say easy. Now here's another place you can get one free. You have to buy the pattern, but y'all know Jenny Doane. If you don't know Jenny Doane, I just don't know where y'all have been. They own like half of Missouri. Her and her family. So, Jenny Doane has a pattern, and again, Jenny's Easy Carpenter Star. And the reason they're calling it easy is because it's made with half square triangles. Used to be made with diamonds. Used to have to cut the triangles out. No, 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 no. And I'm not sure if, on this one, if Jenny uses the layer cakes, or if she cuts out triangles, or if she does the strips. But you all can go there and find out. The pattern isn't free, but you won't really need the pattern if you watch the video. It's Make an Easy Carpenter Star. Now look at this, it's the exact same quilt, and she calls it the Carpenter Star. Two names, same quilt. Make an Easy Carpenter Star quilt with Jenny Doane. And she is with Missouri Star Quilt Company on YouTube. There you go. Another version, kind of fall colors. Okay? See? It's all over the internet. It's just unbelievable. Okay, I am going to take you into my quilt room, to my cutting table, and I'm going to show you how to make the half square triangles in 3 different sizes using 10-inch square, 10-inch squares, but I'm going to have to cut out the backgrounds because I don't have a background 10-inch squares. So you're going to be so excited. This is what took me so long to figure out, because I couldn't figure out until I actually did it. I started out with little post-it notes, chopped them up into the tiniest triangles you ever saw. But then I did the real deal. So I'll be right back. So for those of you who are new quilters, and I know some of you said, I've never made a quilt, but I want to learn how. I was new. I had no idea in the world what jelly rolls were, or what layer cakes were, or what charm squares were. I'm like, what are those things? What are those things? So I'm going to show you. Where can you get them? You can get them from Missouri Star Quilt Company. And every day they have a daily special. And a lot of times their specials are these layer cakes. And you can get them for like 40% off. Really good deal. So that's where I got mine, Missouri Star Quilt Company. You can get them from Jordan Fabrics. You can get them probably from Amazon. What can't you get from Amazon? I don't know if Thousands of Bolts has them yet. Thousands of Bolts sells like last year's, the year before designs and fabrics, and they're pretty cheap. But I don't know if they do layer cakes yet. So I wanted fall colored ones, right? And I think this might have been the daily special one day. So, hello, fall color. Let me open it up so you can see the colors better. So this is what the daily deal was one day. And Avondra and I decided we both needed to get it immediately and make a quilt together. So what it is, it's called a layer cake. Now different companies have different names for them. I know Edita Sitar has something she calls scoops. And I don't know what she calls all of her things, but just remember they're 10-inch squares, already pre-cut. I was going to tell you how many there are. There's usually 40 of them. 42. 42 and 20 different fabrics. Okay, so obviously some are in here twice. 10-inch squares, and these are all batiks. See? And I love batiks. You know, I'm such a sucker for batiks. So these are usually like $45, I think. And you can get them for like $26 when they're the daily special. But I got these and I thought, oh, what if I want more greens? So I went to the non-daily special department. Let me open these up. Now this is another set of boutiques. These are from Island Boutique. These are from Island Boutique. So I got this and I thought, oh, there's not very many greens. So I ordered all of these greens so I could have some more greens. And I think I did that with my blues for Jeffery out there. I wanted some more colors of the turquoise and more colors of the blue, so I kind of pulled, I think I even got some out of my stash and cut my own 10-inch squares. You can do whatever you want. Then I decided, well, that's a lot of green. What if I need more orange? So I ordered this one of the oranges. Let me cut it open. So here is the other one that I bought with the oranges. So I figured between 3 of these, I can probably make half a dozen quilts. But you don't have to have them. I just want to show you what they are, and it's super, super easy to make this quilt if you buy these layer cakes. Now you probably can buy a layer cake of the solid, the white or the beige or the yellow or whatever you want. Avondra and I ordered a yellow. So the same day we were talking to each other and ordering these, we needed to find a background. And Avondra actually found this one. She said, Joy, this is a really pretty yellow. So this is Artisan Boutique Solid Prisma Dyes Buttercup. And we got this from Missouri Star Quilt Company also. I ordered 5 yards, it says, because I probably am going to use it for the backing too if I have enough of it. But it is a tone-on-tone, and it's just luscious. It looks like melted butter. It is luscious. Let me see if I can get enough of it so you can see it good. This is the color we bought for our backgrounds for our fall colored quilt. Hopefully that's showing up real good for you. So can you picture it? Can you picture it? Huh? Pretty, pretty, pretty. Yeah, Vondra's fixing to get a new long arm. I'm thinking, boy, we better do this really soon or wait a long time. I don't know which. But how pretty is this yellow with all of these colors? So that's what mine's going to be made up of, okay? So now let me show you all of the samples I made for you so you can know how to cut this up into 3 different size half square triangles. I was so excited when I learned this because I kind of taught myself. Now this is what I spent 2 days figuring out for you. I could not find this anywhere on the internet. Maybe you will find it on the internet. If you do, tell me where you found it, okay? But I wanted to know this, and I wanted to remember it after I learned it. So I started out making this picture for you because what I assumed was here's the 10-inch squares. The 10-inch squares are black. And I'll put this picture there so you can take a picture of it, okay? I'll put a picture right here. Okay, so now you can see the picture real good. So, this is a 10-inch square, 10-inch square, 10-inch square. I'm showing you how to cut it up 3 different ways. This is the way I made blues for Jeffery, and I came out with 2 half square triangles. I thought, when I started trying to learn how to teach this to you, I thought, well, if you cut 4 of those instead of 2 of those, they'd be half the size, right? Wrong. They don't come out half the size. If you cut it so you get 4 of them, they come out 6.5 inches. That would be a finished square of 6 inches. Over here you get 2 finished square of 9 inches. That's what my blues for Jeffery that I showed you at the beginning of this video. It's like this one. Then I think I saw Jenny do this version, Jenny Doane. And I thought, Oh my gosh, you get 8 of them that way. So that's what this one is down here, 8 of them, and they come out 4.5 inches unfinished, 4 inches finished. So isn't that interesting? That you can get 2 of them, 4 of them, or 8 of them. Now I don't know that I would cut it up any more than that. But I was thrilled to figure this out. And you can see my notes on there. The white dots are stitching. The red lines are cutting lines. You cut on the red. First of all, you sew the white dot part and then you cut on the red lines, okay? And of course you can draw the diagonal lines on there to start with before you sew. So I've taken several pictures of my beginning to end of this project, okay? So let me put the pictures right here. This first picture shows the 3 10-inch squares. I have them pinned together, and I have the black lines drawn that I am going to sew next to. The bottom square, you sew all the way around. In this picture, you can see the same 10-inch squares. I now have stitched on them, and the stitching is yellow. Now, in the middle is the one that I stitched all the way around now. But I think the others are pretty clear. In this picture, you can see I've added some cut lines. The top picture, and I'm going to cut it 4 ways, diagonally and then straight across in the centers. Then the next one in the middle, you're just going to cut diagonally, and the one on the bottom, you're just going to cut diagonally 1 time. Yay! Here we are all cut. Now on the very top, you can see that's where we got 8, then we got 4 in the middle, and 2 at the bottom. And here we are. I made you some samples. You will see these in greater detail in just a minute. But you can see 2, 4, and 8 and how the sizes are. I've got the finished samples right here, and I'm going to take the camera and move it close up here so you can see the different sizes and how awesome this is. I started out, like I told you, with Post-it notes. Post-it notes are 2 inches square. Well, 2 inches square is impossible to do this with, okay? So I went and I got some fabric and I did the real deal with 10-inch squares, okay? Not layer cakes. This was scrap fabrics, and it worked out just perfect. So let me get my camera and let me show you a close-up of what I got down here for you. So we start out over here with how I made the blues for Jeffery. This is 2. This is the finished one, and you can see that it's 9.5 inches. And here it is before it's pressed open. This would be the other block right here, see? Okay? So it makes 2 squares, and this is a half square triangle, half yellow, half red, okay? I'm sure y'all get that. Now here it is, if I cut 4 of them, and you can see that when you cut 4 of them, you get 6.5 inch half square triangles. The other 3 are up here. There you can see that one right there. Okay? So if you pressed all of those open, you would have 4 of these. Now this is if you cut 8. And you can see here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what you get when you do it that way is 4.5 inch. And you're like, well, that's a little bit more. It is. It depends on your 1/4 inch, what your 1/4 inch is. If yours don't come out exactly 4.5 inches, you just trim them down. You take your little square ruler and you trim them. So you want them all to be exactly alike. So you would trim these to exact 4.5, trim these to exact 6.5, and trim these to exact 9.5. See, you can see my stitching, and you can see how I cut it. So I hope that helps you understand how to use the layer cakes and how to make half square triangles. And you can see now that if you use this method where you cut 8, you would have a much smaller quilt than you would have if you use this method or this method. And I'm thinking if I do it this way with the 8s you could do 2 rings, 2 wheels outside the star. And I think I might do that this time, just to make myself learn something different, because I love to learn new things. This is an insert. I'm over there editing my 5 clips from today, and I started thinking, well, I wonder if when you get 4 squares out of this, if that's called a quarter square triangle. No, it's not. And I will show you the difference. You can make quarter square triangles for some other kinds of quilts and other kinds of blocks. So what you do on a quarter square, and we're back to post-it notes, you draw your diagonal both ways. You sew on each side of one of the diagonals. Then you cut it on the unsewn line. So let's do that and see what we get. You cut it on the unsewn line. Okay, so now we've got 2, pink on one side, blue on the other. We've got 2. Then you cut it on the line that's been sewn against. So then you now have 4. You have 4. Let's cut this one. Did I say this is an insert? I thought I don't want him to say, oh, George, that's a quarter square triangle. So I'm teaching myself something else. Okay, so now we have 4 of these little triangles. Let's open them up and see what a quarter square triangle looks like. I think we will be surprised to find out, hello, that this sticky stuff is sticking together and we can't open it. What you're going to find out is a quarter square triangle is a triangle, okay? Half square triangles are square. Quarter square triangles are still triangles, okay? So I'm so glad I straightened that out in my mind. And I know a bunch of you quilt way more than I do and know way more than I do, and I bet I'm going to get some comments, but that's just fine. I'm willing to learn. End of insert. I'm going to end this video right here. I hope that this information has helped you understand how easy it is to make the Carpenter star or the Carpenter's wheel, Carpenter star with 2 wheels. And I hope you will make it with me and my friend Avondra. Avondra lives in Pennsylvania, so we're far, far apart, but via texting and sending each other selfies and stuff, we're going to make this quilt together. Gather your supplies, my friends. You've got plenty of time to order some layer cakes and choose a background. Now, for those of you who don't know about Thousands of Bolts, it's thousandsofbolts.com, and they carry all the quilting fabrics by all the quilting companies. They carry solids, they carry tone-on-tones, they carry prints, lots of fun to look around there. So you can save some money, probably $5 or $6 a yard. Used to be $3 a yard. But I think they're like, since fabric's $13 a yard these days, I think they're like up to $6 a yard. And if you don't want to invest in a layer cake, if you can't find one on sale, order some fabric from them. Just order 2 prints, because you know you can make this with just 2 prints and a solid for the background. So you could certainly do it that way, especially if it's your very first quilt. Start out with something easy and inexpensive. And then if it turns out to be a total flop, you consider it the cost of a class. Classes are very expensive. A lot of them are far away. You have to take an airplane to get to them or drive, and gas is expensive. So consider your failures as lessons. Lessons for your future amazing quilt. Bye for now, my friends.